Welcome to the first episode of our Sleepaway series, everyone. We have a phenomenal series in store for you this month, and we are so excited to present it for you. Jay Dragon did a phenomenal job with this game, and our guest this series, Nicole Trainor, really helped the game shine, and I love what we came up with together. But before we get to all of that, here's what to expect in our call to action.
After the show, you can join us to hear more about the new campaign that Ryan is editing for the One Shot Network Patreon feed. You can hear about a new episode on a different podcast that I guested on a while ago and just released recently. A brief reminder to those in the US to go out and vote, please, on November 8th. As well as the normal podcast sign-off junk that we do. Ryan wrote goodies, but I'll say junk. That's fine. But it includes, most importantly, a very new and exciting review.
Very good. But that is it for now. Thank you so much for joining us for this series, everybody. Enjoy the show. Welcome to Character Creation Cast, a show where we discuss and create characters, the best part of role-playing games, with guests using their favorite systems. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan, and this episode, my co-host Amelia and I are thrilled to welcome Nicole Trainor, aka Phae, who uses she/her pronouns, from the Misfits of Space podcast to cover the game Sleepaway, a belonging outside belonging game about summer camp and existential horrors by Jay Dragon.
Welcome to Character Creation Cast, Nicole. I'm really excited that we're going to do this.
I'm so excited too. I've been waiting like all week. I'm wiggling. I'm sure you can hear the wiggle too.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, where people can find you, what kind of projects you're working on?
Sure. Pretty much my only project is the Misfits of Space podcast, which Ryan already mentioned. We're in our second series for that. Our first one was a Star Wars game. We finished up that campaign. Now we're doing a Scum and Villainy campaign, where we drive our GM a little wild because so far I have yet to find an issue that I can't kiss and or flirt my way out of. So
that sounds correct.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, is your GM expecting something else?
No. And, you know, like some of our previous shenanigans were like, let's go undercover as a bachelorette party to this mining planet. Like,
yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're playing the game correctly.
Right? Right? Exactly.
Oh,
it's just
amazing.
he keeps thinking he knows what to expect from us. And then he's like, no, I don't. So it's great. But yeah, I'm Lita Echo Tan on that this season, and I'm the scoundrel, and I'm very much living up to that.
Amazing.
I'm also, sometimes you can hear me on the Redacted Files podcast on a couple of things, specifically the Thirsty Sword Lesbians, which was one of my favorite games ever. And then I also do a incredibly sporadically released podcast with my two kids called Jack, Sam, and Mama. But yeah, and then mostly I'm on Twitter for now, for the time being. I'm Phaedra220 on that. And also on Tumblr. I don't know if anybody does Tumblr, but Tumblr's a good place to be. As Phaedra220 as well.
I forget that Tumblr exists like 99% of the time.
It's wonderful. It's all your trash dreams exist here. It's great. It's a happy place for me.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get into this, and we're going to start by discussing what this game is all about.
What's in a game?
So what is the core concept of Sleepaway?
So to me, the core concept is that you're a camp counselor at this summer, like this beloved summer camp that's like a part of you, where you're fighting the Limworm. It's a game of queer belonging, found family. You're fighting to end generational traumas, and also it's a horror game, which is the aspect I forget the most.
Yeah, I always thought, Sleepaway, it's a nice cozy game with like some cool summer camp mechanics. But there's that existential horror that's there too.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's like, wow, look at all these great, intense, emotional, vulnerable moments. And this horrible, like thing hanging over all of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I always forget about that part of it too, even though I have like a supplement that is specifically like more of the horror stuff. Like I forget what it's called. But yeah, I always forget that there's like that it's not just like happy campfire feels.
Right. Right. Like all that intense emotional drama between the counselors and everything. Like, oh yeah, there's something else too.
Mm-hmm.
But
can you tell us a little bit more about the setting for this game? Obviously, you're playing at a summer camp, and obviously there's a lindworm.
Yeah.
But what else is going on here?
So, I think that's one of the cool things is because as part of character creation, you also set up the summer camp. So yeah, like there's all sorts of good stuff, like secret kissing grove has to be decided. What happened last year, like all those aspects. So you build the summer camp because it's not just the cool thing about this system, which is belonging outside belonging, is you don't just play the PCs, because there's no GM. People will pick up NPCs or campers or even settings elements to play. So those all need to be filled in and filled out. And that's more character creation stuff we have to do.
We love good world building.
We do.
It's
true.
It's so good. This was one of my favorite world building settings. Like just everything that you can pick from is just so evocative.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you build this camp, and I don't know. To me, I grew up in in the Northeast, and so like all my summer camps are like based in like the woods of Pennsylvania. In my head, so they're always woody. There's always a lake, and then there's always that intense feeling of summer camp.
See, I only know summer camp from the Friday the 13th movies, so I also get the woods and the lake.
Yeah.
But I think that's really like what summer camps are here too, though,
Yeah.
because we're in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So, but Wisconsin's a pretty like foresty
Mhm.
area too. So like
Yeah.
when I went to like Girl Scout camp and stuff, that was always in the woods and everything too.
Yeah. I guess if you're in like Florida or in the Keys or something, you could have like a beachy summer camp, but
Oh, that's weird. That doesn't feel right.
no. But
Uh,
it does.
I can kind of see that, but like, yeah.
Like, where do you do like campfire and like hatchet throwing?
On
Which
the
apparently
beach.
is a thing that my daughter did at summer camp
Right?
this year.
You just throw hatchets at the sand dune castle things that you make.
That's
Oh, okay.
that's fair. But
Uh-huh.
I can't. But then there's
just-
no woods for kissing him.
Well, I mean, there's probably other places.
That's fair. But yeah. I feel that the Sleepaway summer camp is specifically a wooded, lakey summer camp. That I think is like the only constant. Everything else, like I went to summer camp and like it feels the intensity of summer camp to it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what sort of tools then do we need to play this game?
So there, I want to clarify there could be two sets of tools because I've played this game online where you need like a Discord and
Mhm.
like a Discord bot to deal cards.
Oh,
And then something like Miro or Google Sheets to draw your map on.
okay.
So online it's a little bit easier, but in person you will need you'll need a deck of cards, which actually you can't see because my video's off, but I did get us a nice deck of cards. You want note cards. You want a piece of paper to draw a map on, and then it's also recommended to have like a bulletin board because you kind of, when you play in real life, you kind of start to put together like a conspiracy board where you pin everything to the board and you tie everything together with string.
hmm
Oh my
And
gosh, yes.
That
Yes.
gets much cooler as the game goes on because then
Oh,
you do
amazing.
stuff like tear the card with your teeth, light this on fire, cut these strings. Like it gets very, very visceral.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that sounds
So,
amazing.
but yeah, and you need, and the important thing is you need something to serve as tokens because tokens is how all moves are decided in this game.
Oh, yeah. Because of the belonging outside belonging.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What kind of stories and themes are we exploring in this game? I know we talked a little bit about the horror, a little bit about the relationships. Can you expand on some of that?
Yeah. So I always look at there's a lot of self-discovery. Like there's like with each of the characters, like play to discover this about yourself. And each of the core characters you can pick from have a very distinct feel to them. So you're going to figure out something about your character. You're going to figure out something about, and even the questions you ask other players, like explore those relations. Why did you stop loving me? How did I save you? Figure out what those mean, what you mean to each other. There's a lot of self-discovery, exploration, understanding what the camp means to you, why it means what it means to you, why the camp is like it is. And then not only that, between the counselors, between the campers, like the relationships between the counselors and the campers. And there's a lot of, I like going for it for like really just leaning into all the angst and emotion you get from playing a young adult in this really intense setting that is always camp. But I know other people play it with like real heavy on the horror aspects. So I find that you can go either way with this. Like I've always played, not to make it less of a game, but I always tone down the horror aspects, at least the visceral, gory ones, and still leave those emotional dreads, just because I'm someone I can't be around kid harm. So immediately that's like off the books for me. But you can still make this game, you can still make the Lindworm terrifying without that.
Right.
But yeah,
I find like a lot of games too that have like a horror aspect that I do better when it's like sort of this like creeping dread kind of a thing, more than like a visceral kind of like gross gore whatever.
A psychological thriller versus a slasher.
Yeah. More of the orphan or mama than like Friday the 13th. So I'm also a big So like where it's good because there's a lot of that stuff to explore. But I mean, there's also allowances if you really want to go hardcore slasher movie on that. Go for it. But yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So then what do characters that you play do in this game?
So I took notes on this because it's like, you protect the campers, you fight the Lindworm, you explore the relationships to each other, you figure stuff out, you fight with each other, like everything young adults do at summer camp. So it's like, okay, I got to leave the arts and crafts session today, and this camper's being a pain in the butt. So you deal with that. And then you go to lunch and you have a fight with a counselor. Maybe there's a counselor you want to kiss. And you go through that, and, and in the background, like everything in the setting is still going on. Like the Lindworm is still there creeping around, like messing things up. So it's you're trying to survive summer camp. You're trying to make sure that the kids survive summer camp, and not just like because of the Lindworm, but just because it's also summer camp. Yeah.
And they let them throw hatchets?
Yeah, they could. That could 100% be a thing our summer camp does.
What do you feel makes this game particularly unique for you?
It feels like camp. When I play Sleepaway, I go back 25 years to when I was at camp, when I was a camp counselor, and it feels like camp. Like it's so, I know I keep saying visceral and evocative, but it really is. Like the phrases Jay used for like making selections from the camp, for the campers, for the counselors, all of that, like they have a distinct feel to them, and you immediately get that sense of, this is camp. This is being a queer young adult trying to figure yourself out. And it's so steeped in that. And it's just how everything links together, like the questions between the camp, like all the PCs, the questions you have towards the campers, how how all the settings elements tie together. Like it's a very set and very compact and very neatly organized game. Like where it just, everything makes sense together.
Oh, very cool.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love like when games just like, again, this is like my hill to die on, is that you can't run everything in D&D.
Right.
Because there are like mechanics and terms and like all that kind of stuff that really make games feel like something else. Like the mechanics matter. They, affect how you feel while you're playing the game. And I love when games manage to get that like just right and hit that sweet spot.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, like some of the moves you do in here are just, they're so good. Like, they're so good, and like they wouldn't work in anything else but something like this.
Yeah, because a lot of the move, it looks like you actually have rituals that you do as a player. Right? Yes,
right. That is also unique to this because there's not just the gameplay. Like there's not just the aspects of belonging outside belonging where you're going to play as a different setting. There's also things where it's like, oh man, okay, this play is really intense right now. I need a break. Hey, let's all let's go out and look at fireflies. That's a ritual in the game we can do in character, out of character, and just make, ground ourselves, or, step away from the horror, or other rituals that you lean into that more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so interesting. I've never played a game before that has like the rituals as part of gameplay, and in the way that they're done, where it's like, okay,
right.
Firefly Night, everybody goes outside, like actually goes outside and looks at fireflies.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's so good.
That's amazing. Like, I know there are some other games that I've seen that do have that sort of ritual aspect to it. Like Reflections, I think, comes to mind.
Okay.
But that's mostly like the ritual is you start the game with this phrase, you do this thing, and you insert this memory, and you say it all in a very specific way every single time you play.
Yeah.
And that's the ritual of that game. But then like this just takes it next level, it seems.
Yeah. Like, yeah. And the way that they're handled, it's like, this is so good. Like, there's so much care in this game. Like, it's not just like I don't think of myself as a person who likes horror, but like the like all the safety tools, how everything ties together, and like the way it's all written with like, hey, we understand this can be much. Here's a ritual to break it up, or here's, maybe the field element comes into play now. We have a moment of play and everything's good and sunny. Like I feel very protected, which makes me inclined to push myself to a limit, because I know that it's safe and I won't be hurt. And I can, if I want to be hurt, it's my choice, and I'm choosing that, because sometimes I do. Sometimes I want my heart crushed. A lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
agreed.
This is a very good game. This is a very good game for crushing your heart.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
And for those that know you, that's extraordinarily on brand.
Crush my heart with velvet gloves should be a saying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, before we actually dive into camp creation and character creation, we do like to go over the history of the game and then terms and concepts. But for the history, this game, as we said, was created by Jay Dragon, utilizing the belonging outside belonging system, which originated by the Dream Apart and Dream Askew games by Avery Adler. And those were inspired as well by the Powered by the Apocalypse system. So there's a lot of the moves and playbooks and that sort of similar terminology utilized in the BOB system.
Games within games.
Yes.
I know. And this one was actually kickstarted in the before times in July of 2019. It's pretty fantastic. It's one of those like later PBTA games that really stretches the limit of what games can be. So I'm really excited to learn about this one.
Yeah, I love the like continual evolution of games that they're becoming more and more niche.
Yes.
That like it's like this game does this very specific thing, but it does it very well.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing more and more of games like that aren't just like, this is a generic adventure game thing. And it's like, no, this one is, you're at a summer camp and it's like, you're growing up, you're queer, you're, like all those kinds of things. And it's like, it does all of those things really, really well if you want that one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, like, even if you're not sure, try it. Because like you can tone stuff down as much as you need, but right. but only if you're like, if you're not here for the emotional aspect, probably not the game for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We talked a little bit before recording. Are there any like terms or concepts that you think people need to know? I think a lot of our listeners are pretty familiar with like playbooks and moves and things like that.
The only thing that might be a little specific is that it's the Sleepaway camp game, and then it's the belonging outside belonging. So we have PCs and we have NPCs, and people understand the difference between that. And then, but even within this, there is the setting. So we have NPCs and we have the campers setting, which behave differently, and then separate from both of those are the individual campers you can make up, who are slightly different from the NPCs, because you can throw the NPCs as fodder towards the Lindworm if you need to. You can, which it might come up. But if you do that with the campers, then the game's over and the Lindworm wins, because the campers are to be protected. Like they're the whole reason we're there. So that's the only thing, is that NPC, camper, and camper settings are all 3 different distinct terms.
Okay. Don't let campers get eaten.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Not on your
That's
choice.
just like a rule for life. Everyone, if you are a camp counselor, do not let your campers get eaten by giant worms.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Are we ready?
I think
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Oh, I'm so excited. Let's make some people.
Let's make some people.
All right. So what do we have to do first? I have the book pulled up, so I know I know what's coming up. But
right. So I'm going to go through in order. I'm sorry. You can hear, I have the hardcover, and I'm sure you can hear it creaking a little bit.
We love page sounds. Page sounds are great. It
is a very good page sound, and I've been very careful with this book, but do recommend getting the book because there's one special element in here I didn't have, and I had the PDF version. So where we actually start isn't with our campers, but we start creating the summer camp.
Right.
So, and this is the best list ever. Everything about this. So it always starts off with there's 5 things that are always present: the field at the center of camp, the lake, the fire pit, the oldest tree in the woods, and the bunks. So I think you have, I don't have it open, but you have the Google's thing.
Oh yeah. So we created a Google slideshow. And we had good use of this in the past with Tracy Burnett for a couple of games that we covered with them. That let us draw the map of the areas that we were in. So they've got like little symbols on there, little shapes that you can put in.
Yeah.
So they've got like really basic emoji type shapes that you can throw on there.
That's good.
So we can, and you can color them, and it's pretty nice.
Because in my online game, we use Miro, M-I-R-O, like a board for that. And that's really cool because you can pull in like images and everything too.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think my favorite part is they have like little fake stickies you put on it. So, and you can color code. So that's also really good. And I think you can get like a free account of that. But that's for online play. If we were in real life play, if we're all sitting at a table together, we'd put out a big piece of paper and we would all start drawing our map. So, So the field at the center of camp is there. Where's the lake?
Okay, so let me put a field.
I know. I'm also kind of like drawing it on my iPad here while we're.
I see. I see the field. It's a big square box.
Yep.
Okay.
Trying to make it
yellow.
like wheat
Fields
color.
aren't yellow.
Yeah.
Trying to select the right color. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But this is like part of the fun too. It's like, okay, where's this gonna go? And then it's important.
So it did say the field was at the center of the camp.
Center of camp.
So like what sort of field is it though? Is it because I pictured like a field of wheat, but is it a field like that, or is it like a
Well, I mean, yeah. So, like, the question is: it just like a big, like, open field of daisies? Is it a cornfield? Is it?
Oh, it's not a cornfield. I'm going to say that right now.
No. Why would you build a summer camp around a cornfield?
Because it's tall stalks of corn that you can go running through. That could be scary.
You know what? That could be. But you know what? That could be an option later. Because, like, to me, it's always like a parade field where it's like just a big open field.
Interesting.
Wow, do we choose like what our camp is after drawing these things, or do we
what kind of camp it is?
Yeah,
it's just summer camp,
right? But like, what type of summer camp? Just like summer camp, or like is this like a LARPing summer camp? Is this summer math camp, or
is this a summer camp for circus performers? Is this Girl Scout camp? Is this...
You know what? I've never personally thought. I'm like, it's just like a summer camp, like Wet Hot American summer camp sort of thing.
Like you just go and it's camp.
But it could be like, I mean, those are all things we could have where it's like because it's, I guess it could be math camp.
I mean, I feel like it should be something like vaguely outdoorsy.
Yeah.
Like a math camp isn't really.
No.
Yeah. No, I feel,
you know, like it's clearly not computer program or summer camp.
That's why I was thinking like LARP camp.
It could be a LARP
where
camp.
they do a lot of LARPing outdoors.
Yeah.
Which would be ripe for some like horror shenanigans.
Right. I never thought of that. Because it's like, you're going to have the little kids there too. So it was, to me, it was always just camp. Generic summer camp, Babysitters Club summer camp sort of thing.
Yeah.
But like
Moosehead, is that what they go to? Something with a moose.
but at a LARP camp, they could learn first of all how to role play.
Mhm.
Second of all the skills, the physical skills
Right.
for role playing, for LARPing.
Oh,
right?
Also, there's costumes.
Also making and wearing costumes.
That's very good. Let's make this a LARP camp then. And you know what else goes along with that? Because I want the lack of technology to matter, I always set mine in like the late 80s, early 90s, which might be because that's when I was going to camp.
Yeah.
But I played one game where we had not a Xerox machine, but the what's the blue one where you turn it? It was like and the sheets would come out cold, not hot.
Oh.
I can't remember what it's called.
Is it like for carbon copies?
Yeah, like that, but it was blue ink and not black.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a big roll, and the teachers would do that. It was like, oh man, like zines have to be a thing, like camp zines.
Mm-hmm.
And you want that, like the real hardcore, homemade, like stapled together sort of feel to it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I like the idea that this is like almost like a Renaissance fair kind of like full immersion.
Wow.
Like fantasy LARP.
Wow.
I do
that's
like
wild.
that.
That's wild. I love it. Oh man.
Is this
so
field
good.
a courtyard now?
I think so, yeah. So our field at the center camp
Amazing.
The Queen's Field.
Yeah. Okay, that's so good.
Okay, so is it actually a square as I'm drawing this? Is it actually a square? Do we want it to be like a big circle?
Or are you on a different one, Amelia?
I still have the square too.
No, I'm also drawing on my iPad, like with an actual pencil.
Oh, okay. You're drawing your own little map on your fancy iPad.
So it's not.
Okay. So it's not
just squares and
just
circles.
squares and circles and cloud stamps.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah. You don't have to be a good artist to play this game, I'll say that.
So where do we I'm thinking like just a courtyard, like in the middle of whatever structures we have here. If it's like super hardcore camp, maybe it's like a maybe it's like a castle.
Well, it is specifically a field.
It's a field.
Yeah,
right.
That comes into play later.
I think it's where, like it's a field, like where we would eventually, maybe at the end of camp, set up our maypole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Or something like that. Like, like everybody practices their dancing or like fake jousting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where is the lake then?
I think it's south of the field. Yeah. And then like at the end of camp, like there's a procession where everybody marches to the lake to say, for like the end.
Yeah.
Like that. Is it a big lake?
Well, we will answer questions about the lake later because that's one of the settings.
Okay.
And
we just need to know the location of these things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can change it later too.
All right. Where's the fire pit?
Is it north of the field? Is it in the field? I want it separate from the field.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be kind of like maybe on like the northeast corner of the field.
Yeah.
All right. So I put a little sun icon there.
Oh, I see.
That's northwest, though.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You know what, Ryan? When she said northeast, I looked that direction too.
Uh-huh.
I know that.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's good.
Okay. So we got a little circle with some seating areas around it, and that is the fire pit.
Yep. And then we have to do the oldest tree in the woods.
Oh.
Yeah.
So where are the woods?
Well, I guess the woods. Well, the woods can be anywhere, and this is just specifically where the oldest tree is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would say it's like if this fire pit's in the northeast corner, let's put it in like the extreme northwest corner then, like away from the lake.
Like way up here?
Yeah. I think like way up there.
Okay, so we've got a large rectangular. For those that aren't able to, we'll probably put a link to something in the show notes for this. For those that can't see it, it is in the a large rectangle where the center is a green square with the lake at the very bottom of the rectangle. That is just a cloud filled in blue. And then we've got a nice hourglass in the upper left-hand corner.
The oldest tree in the woods.
Oldest tree. There it is.
And is it Is it a wise tree? Is it a scary tree? Like, is it where like people carve initials? Like, there's a lot. Like, just that. Like, oldest tree in the woods, like, opens so many questions. Like, what? Does it have big branches kids climb up on? Is it like a low tree with lots of branches, or is it like a tall tree?
I like one of those like fat trees with lots of branches.
Yeah.
Like,
I think at least one like minstrel or bard or something has to be able to sit on one of the branches of the tree and play at least.
Yes. Yes. And like there's always like a camp picture of everybody up in the branches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So where are the bunks?
I feel like they're on the same side as the fire pit, so I don't know if they're at the top or on the north or on just the east, but I feel like they're close to the field. And what are the bunks' names? Like, are they named after members of like the fairy court? Or is that asking for trouble?
Ooh.
Interesting.
Right? Like that, like doing that, like, ooh, now we can pull in the Phae stuff here. Because there's a settings aspect that's the strange. Oh, the strange. Yes. No, they are named after the Phae because one of the potential members of the strange is the oh gosh, I'm blanking the name on the Forgotten Lady, I think. No,
Okay.
it's very good. Yeah, there's the.
Right.
Let me see. Let me flipping. You can hear all my pages. Our Lady Oubliette. And the slumbering beast. The Underhill King.
Okay.
Oh, yes. No, we are named after like Phae court members.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got our Phae bunks. I put them to the west of the field, away from the fire pit.
Okay.
Because I
That
figured
seems reasonable.
they don't want to put the structures near the fire pit.
I was thinking like, oh, that's just a quicker walk to the fire pit. No, that's
because
good.
then you can look out your windows and see the fire pit across the field. And that probably can be used for some horror shenanigans.
Yeah. Okay. So now we have the 5 base things, and now each player chooses one. The nurse's cabin, the creek with mud castles, the performing stage, the field everyone dreams about, the best stargazing field, the sneaking path, the hidden picnic bench, the petroglyph boulders, the swamp full of mosquitoes, the path covered in cairns, the mushroom log, the secret kissing grove, and the abandoned stoned wall.
Wow. Oh, there's so many good ones here.
Right? And I will say, like, as you play the game and as you play a campaign, like, maybe you bring one of these in as needed, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So obviously the performance stage.
Okay, so you want to do the performance stage?
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a thing we need.
Yes.
Yeah. Where
Didn't you say each player picks one?
Each player
each
picks
pick
one. Yep.
Yeah.
So where do you want that, Amelia?
Let's say on like the on the opposite side of the bunks. So on that eastern side.
By the fire pit?
So, yeah.
Oh, that
so
makes sense.
Like, if you're in the field or whatever, you can see the stage.
Do we want to move the fire pit so it's right in front of the stage?
Mm.
So that way, like, sometimes, like, there can be, like, performances, like, around a roaring fire and everything.
So then, like, stage, like, here.
Yeah.
And then fire pit here.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, so it goes
Oh,
bunks,
yeah,
field,
there you go.
fire pit, stage, all kind of in a line.
Like that. I'll make it skinny in this direction.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So we moved the fire pit a little bit down, and now it's not in the corner anymore.
Yeah.
It's a good stage color. Let's just go with teal. That's fine. Okay. So we've got the stage in there, the performing stage.
Oh, it's always so hard to pick.
I know.
I'm like, Secret Kissing Grove?
I mean, that's...
It's all Brad.
I don't not want that.
Right?
I know, right?
Right? Yeah.
This is our one chance.
Yeah, I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to say we got a Secret Kissing Grove. And it's going to be a little south, like kind of directly in line between, like down south from the oldest tree in the woods, like right behind the bunks.
Okay.
And it's
like right
that
around
makes
here.
sense.
Yeah. No, it's
Okay.
the smiley
That's
face.
not a good shape for kissing.
No.
Used a
Make it a
smiley face.
Make it a
It's a
heart.
heart.
I don't, I'm
Ryan.
trying to find a heart.
But yeah.
Oh, there
and
is a heart right next to the smiley face.
There you go.
Okay, there we go.
And it's, I imagine it's like a tiny little grove. Like there's like a hole in the bushes you go through. And it's all like dogwood trees. So they're real pretty.
Make it a nice red heart. Okay,
I'm drawing some lips.
There you go.
The important part.
I don't think I have that option on my stamps. All right, so now I need to pick something here. Okay. So I gotta lean into my brand a little bit. Not my magical girl brand, but my love of astronomy brand. And pick the best stargazing field.
That's a favorite of mine too. That's so good.
Because I think there is a hill off to the east a bit.
Okay.
That has a field at the peak of the hill that lets us gaze at the stars.
Oh, and you have to hike up the hill a little bit too.
Yeah.
So you're always just slightly out of breath.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the best way to look at stars.
Yeah. I'm going to put it kind of up in the northeast corner of our map a bit.
Yeah.
So it's not near camp because you want to get away from the lights of camp and the lights of the fire and all that stuff. But I'm going to put it up there. A nice dark green because you go in the middle of the night and it's a field. I don't think I have any star shapes on here, do I?
There has to be a star shape.
Like
There's
the
no way there's
twinkle?
not a star
There's
shape.
a sun shape, but
Weird.
that's a little too on brand. Oh, here we go. Little stars. Little star.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. And I'm glad you went with the stargazing field because that was the one I was also thinking. They're so good. But yeah, they're all so good. It's like this is why you want to play with like 6 people so you can have so much.
I know.
Okay. And then as a group, we choose 2. A camp cat, courageous leaders, a culture of honesty, economic prosperity, minimal camper drama, long administrative memory, protected property, easy access to public transportation, and understanding parents. Right?
I don't really want low drama.
Yeah. Yeah. No, minimal camp drama seems, that's not what I want. That's not
Like,
why I'm
am I here?
Yeah.
I can see it as the campers themselves have low drama.
Yeah, but I don't want that.
That's also part of the fun.
I know. Okay, so we want high drama kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
can
Well, I
eliminate
mean,
one.
honestly,
I
we're
mean,
at
it is
a Renaissance
it is a
LARP.
LARP,
Like,
of course
high drama.
Okay, fair point.
We just made a fancy theater camp, Ryan. High drama.
100% true. Okay.
I kind of like culture of honesty.
Mm.
I like that too.
You know, like, because then people are compelled to be like, you speak when you're hurt. Like, you can be hurt, but you're also like, hey, people are going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I also
I
like understand. Yeah. And understanding parents because, oh boy.
Yeah.
But those are the 2 I like. I mean.
Yeah. I do like the culture of honesty because that kind of leans into like proper use of safety tools and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
I also just love the idea of like, okay, we're going to sit down and we're going to use the talking stick and talk about our feelings.
Right? It's very good. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
So we've got a culture of honesty.
So we don't
But
draw
definitely
that
still
anywhere, right?
drama.
No. But I'm going to take a note. Culture of honesty.
I'm going to make a little text box.
Yeah. And then the other ones are good too.
Yeah. Okay. So
I would say that I don't tend to leave camp. So easy access to public transportation is not important for my games.
it feels
No.
like it takes away some of the tension if you can easily get out.
Right.
Right.
Well, and I know.
Also, this is like an immersive experience.
Yes.
So I feel like that doesn't really fit our
Yes. But
our
yeah.
game.
But I do like if you take those, like what sort of games you can, like they give a different feel to every game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I do like the thought of courageous leaders
I do too.
where like the counselors are the people that like they'll jump in the way.
Right. Oh, that's good. Because, that's what we kind of are.
Yeah.
I mean, Camp Cat is nice too, but
yeah. Well, I always have like the rule, like, because, you know, like you go through, we didn't do this, like lines, veils, and highlights, and you say, well, like no harm to animals, so you know the Camp Cat will be okay.
Yeah.
I think we had a game with the Camp Cat, and everybody called it a different name, and it was amazing.
So what do we want for our last one then? We've got a few good ones on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you read them again? Sorry.
So Camp Cat, courageous leaders, culture of honesty, which we took, economic prosperity, which I kind of like the idea that we're not, and it's a fight. Minimal camper drama, which we said no to. Long administrative memory, protected property, easy access to public transportation, which we also said no to, and understanding parents.
Okay, so I want to also make a case for economic prosperity.
Oh, interesting.
Because, like, instead of, like, you know, bootstrapping all of the costumes and stuff, like, I'm imagining, like, hardcore LARP camp. Like,
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of it not necessarily as, like, this is a camp full of rich kids, but, like, you can come here and everything. We have
it's
everything.
a well-funded LARP
Oh, that's
camp.
amazing. Oh, I love that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Because that opens it up for, like, elaborate costumes being used against you, and
right,
like we can have jousts with actual horses.
Yeah.
Right. Oh man, like we had, like, there's the insurance for that.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Like that. Yeah. Like the costumes are period authentic. So amazing.
Yeah. I think this was someone's like endowment or something.
Yeah. I would like that period appropriate. We still have modern showers and toilets, please.
Yes, please.
That's important.
That's got to be part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And at least one office is air conditioned, please.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's only the camp counselor bunk is air conditioned.
Well, do the camp counselors bunk together? They bunk with the kids. Let's see. In my head, they always bunk with the kids because, like, the kids can't be alone at night.
Oh, that's a good call. But how are they going to sneak off to the Kissing Grove if?
Oh, well, then the kids go to bed and you have two counselors in a bunk. Because like the counselors have nights off too. Like the kids can like stay up till 10, and like from 8 to 10, it's like free
whatever time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. There has to be air conditioning somewhere. That's really my only.
Oh yeah. I imagine that there's at least a little bit of AC in the kids' bunks as well. So you want them to sleep comfortably, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And even though we didn't put it, like, the nurse's office definitely is air conditioned.
Yeah.
Kids are running around in, like, chainmail or whatever. Whew.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So now each player details one: where the fire pit used to be, where the frogs used to sink, where the fairy houses used to be built, where the path used to go, where you used to sneak away to watch the sunrise, where you realized you weren't straight, where the oldest cabins are, where the witch was spotted, where kids kissed when you were young, where you confessed your childhood crush, where the great battles of youth took place.
Oh, man.
Right. These are so good. Like,
I think where the fairy houses used to be needs to be where the bunks are.
oh, are these the new bunks then?
Yeah. I mean, especially if they're named after, like, members of the Phae court. Like, that, like, I feel like at this point it's forgotten that, like, that's why they're named those things, but, like, that's where it comes from.
Oh, that's good.
All right.
Why did they build the bunks here then? Is it, like, because we built, like, the fairy houses here, like, there's some protection here? Like, they were evoked enough here that there's, like, a little bit of their power, like, it's like a safe fairy ring. Is the whole camp inside?
That.
Is the whole camp inside a fairy ring and we don't know it?
Ooh.
Oh, that would be cool.
Okay, I made a little almost fairy icon, and I crossed it out with a no symbol.
Oh. Yeah, you have to make the fairy one bigger, though, because the no symbol covers it up.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's good. Oh, I have to think. The rest are so good. Oh. I'm going to go where the witch was spotted. I want to say the witch was spotted. Oh gosh. Best stargazing field or secret kissing grove? Oh, secret kissing grove. She was spotted by the secret kissing grove.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because how we're going to represent that.
We can here. I
Got it.
this.
Okay. Okay. So what am I going to choose then?
Right.
Okay.
I did it.
Oh, amazing. I
Oh,
see a
it's
witch's
very
hat.
good. I
That is
love
very
it.
good. That's very good.
I made a little witch's hat for this audio medium so everyone can see.
Uh-huh. There's a little witch's hat right next to a heart.
They're like,
On the
oh
map.
no, I'm visually represented on our map.
Uh-huh. Where would be I've got like 3 or 4 different questions that I want to go through, but what one do I want?
Pick something right.
All right.
It's a
All
one
right.
shot. We can do this.
That's true. Okay. Where the path used to go,
Ooh.
I'm going to say on off of the lake, there was a path that kind of led into this area. And that path has worn away because that area is now someplace that nobody really goes to anymore
Oh.
for ominous reasons.
Okay, so this is a path from the lake is in like the bottom center of the map, and then this path kind of heads vaguely northeast.
Yeah, vaguely northeast. Yep.
But like right now seems to go to nowhere because it is in disrepair.
Well, that's really good because you know what? We can figure out why it's in despair through play, or alternately, since what happened last time.
Ooh.
Half the camp danced into the lake and woke up freezing. Flayed
wow.
animals roamed the woods.
Yee.
One of your friends died. The
Yikes.
cops showed up and shut everything down.
Oh no.
Each one of you got a scar in the same place on your faces. Or no one remembers. It's been too long.
What?
That one.
Yeah.
That feels
right.
amazing.
Right? Like this really like, oh, this is all nice and lovely. And oof. They're so good. I like the first one about like dancing into the lake and waking up freezing, or no one remembers it because it's been too long.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like no one remembers.
Yeah. I like that's
I like
something
that
you
one
can,
too.
Yeah. You play, you figure it out through play. Oh, it's so good. You can like talk about letters and stuff. You find letters and like, what? I don't even know what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay. And now that we've started camp, now we get to make our players.
Ooh, we made a camp.
We did. We've made a camp and we're going to add to it like you would add to it through play.
Do we need to
Yes.
name it?
We could. It's camp.
What's a good LARP camp name?
Oh man, like the court, like the summer court.
What about like Camp Fantasia or something?
There's that, or like are we the summer court?
I like the summer court.
Summer court sounds good.
Yeah, because it's like the Phae, you know, like the winter court, the summer court, like the Phae.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And now we would make our characters from the list. Do you need me to read through the names of the playbooks, or are you?
Yeah, let's
just for
go
our
through
listeners.
the playbooks and give us a little rundown of what each of the playbooks kind of means.
Okay. Maybe I'll read that. Like, there's a wonderful paragraph about them, and I will read those.
How convenient.
Yeah, this is like a well-written book. The athlete. Always choose win, yells the athlete, both on the field and in life. The athlete is cold skill, emotion transformed into a furthering of the desire to do even better in the world. Never assume the athlete doesn't care, even if they never show it. Feelings come secondary to victory over the lindworm, to keeping everyone else safe, to giving everyone else the space to process. Feelings are later. Win is now. The athlete is a storming individual. Their power is in restrained fury, tragic heroism, and their physical ability.
Okay.
The athlete. The counselor. And this is like a therapy counselor, not like because we're all counselors.
Right.
Most people who work here are just here for the friendships, but not the counselor. They're just here to help the kids. Nothing more and nothing less, and they'll die before they let a single kid get hurt. The world is harsh and cruel, and the lindworm has traumatized too many. The counselor will do anything to keep their kids safe. The counselor is a passionate individual. Their power is in their heartfelt speeches, charming air, and the people they surround themselves with. The crafter. There is magic in the world, magic with a capital M. The magic of the secret places that want to grow and thrive. All things are connected by this magic. Even the lindworm, as horrific as it is, must be connected to this order somehow. The crafter is responsible for teaching arts and crafts to campers, but more importantly, responsible for cultivating their sense of magic and connection to the arcane. Crafters listen to the call of the universe and respond with their own creative expression. The crafter is a quirky individual. Their power is in the subtle magic of the world, information from the greater world, and skill at creating new art. The fresh blood. The fresh blood isn't really fresh. They've gone to this camp for longer than some of the administrators have worked here. They're fresh, however, in the sense that they only stopped being a counselor in training, or CIT, this year. For the first time, they have to navigate their world anew. It is now full of strangeness, and they are surrounded by idols from their youth who have turned out not to be gods, but instead just regular people with regular lives and regular desires. The Lindworm has always been a campfire story, but watching their once mentors and newfound friends prepare for it feels impossible. The fresh blood is a naive individual. Their power is in their youthful energy, genuine love untouched by age, and a heartfelt, pure relationship with many of the campers. The lifeguard. Some people might become lifeguards to avoid having to do the hard work at camp. The lifeguard is not one of those people. It takes a special kind of strength to be willing to drop everything and jump into the waves to save a kid you've never met before. The lifeguard is here to protect their friends from the camp, weathering whatever the universe could throw at them with the same dogged smile. The lifeguard is an unbreaking individual. Their power is in mutual aid, physical defense, and self-sacrifice. The ropes keeper. The ropes keeper tends to the ropes course, the structure at the heart of the woods. They are an enigmatic staff member, one who prefers the company of the wooden beams and tall trees to the presence of other staff, or, heaven forbid, actual campers. Still, the ropes keeper is a vital part of the camp ecosystem and helps hold the entire community together with their stoic hermeticism. The ropes keeper is a distinct individual. Their power is in quick movement, sudden shows of cold kindness, and the forest itself. And then finally, the song leader. Camp music lifts us up and binds us together. In uproarious sing-alongs, we find community. In heartfelt refrains by campfire light, we find home. The song leader sings from the soul with carefully chosen words and a gentle touch, and their voice hits you square in the heart and makes you want to join in. If the camp has a voice, it isn't any of one person. It's the combined voices of each and every camper and staff member, but it's the song leader who spurs them all to sing. The song leader is a tender individual. Their power is in their voice, the voices of others, and the togetherness of countless arms wrapped around countless shoulders.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. I'm going to let you two go first, because otherwise I will just pick the same one I always like. But
there you go. So what are you thinking, Amelia, for your camp leader?
I don't know. So, like, there was one as we were talking about them that I was like, Ryan's going to pick that.
Is it the song leader?
It wasn't. It was early, like,
but
then after you said song leader, I was like, no, he's probably going to.
I'm like, Ryan's going to be the song leader.
Because Ryan does often pick musicians and
right.
things.
Well, and it's a very good Ryan character.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the lifeguard also has the potential to be a Ryan character.
Oh, that's interesting.
The lifesaver kind of.
Yeah, but they're kind of closed off a little bit too.
Yeah, which is what makes me think no.
Yeah.
I feel like Ryan also could be the fresh blood.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm thinking like.
See, I was thinking the crafter for you.
Yeah.
that's my go-to. I'm like, I need other people to pick so I don't be the crafter again. But the crafter's the best. I mean,
the crafter would be probably my top pick. The crafter or the counselor.
Yeah.
But
so
probably the crafter.
Your thought process for my pick is exactly what was going through my head. And I was thinking the song leader ultimately.
We know each other so well.
I know.
We're at a point where we probably have, like, what would you say, like an 80% success rate, maybe?
I think so.
Yeah. Of like guessing what the other person will do.
Yeah. Although I was slightly tempted by the athlete, mainly because of Stranger Things. And like the jock type character that, like, you know, is whatever it takes to win, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you want to break outside your mold?
Right. I don't want to do that.
Okay. No.
I would like to be the song leader because that sounds amazing.
It's so good. It's so good.
You're not having a Dirge Stranglethorn moment.
No.
You're
I'm going to name my athlete Athlete needs a strong name. Dirge sounds pretty strong to me.
It's true. It's true.
It is. Oh, yeah. And the athlete's name choices are a sturdy name.
Yep.
A name that can be used like a battering ram. Dirge is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Amelia, let's make your character then.
Oh, what are you gonna choose, Nicole?
You know what? Since the crafter is taken, which is what made me, I'm thinking the lifeguard.
All right.
Yeah, because they're very good. So the crafter. Ooh, do you want to read it, Amelia, or do you want me to? The play to find out and all that.
Yeah. So play to find out. Does the magic care about you? How do you stay connected to the real? What do you have to cope with? And how do you cope? Ooh, those are all intense questions.
Right?
Okay, so choose your name, a unique name, a tongue twister name, a word that is normally not a name chosen to confuse. I feel like I want to go with a word that is not normally a name.
Ooh.
I'm trying to think of like...
I'm going to make a little bit of noise from it because I have this amazing baby name book for when my mom was pregnant with me to pick my baby.
2 of them sitting on my desk right now, right next to my jar of dice that I keep specifically for this show.
This one's from like 1979. It's 3,000 uncommon names for baby. And the names in this are amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Yeah, like Lolita. And like, oh my God, the name, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like, there's lots of ones that are like Secunda and stuff. Like, just.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
I have the baby name Bible, which is 50,000 plus baby names.
Right.
And then I also have the baby name Wizard, which they put out a new edition every couple of years because it has like stats on how common the names are. But I like that in the back it has sections about like different like types of, like they're sort of sorted into themes and stuff. Classical, charms and graces, fanciful and fantastical. So that was kind of fun.
That is
it's
good.
Literally falling apart. Pages are coming out of it.
Right.
But I am going with a name that's not a name.
Oh.
And I would like to be named Soliloquy.
Ooh. Is that, now, here's the question, because this is camp, is that your real name or is that like your camp name?
Who knows?
Oh.
I'm not telling.
Ooh.
I don't even know how that's spelled. My goodness. I just realized I probably have never written that word before. All right. Nicole, what about for the lifeguard? What is your play to find out, and what name are you going to go with? So
the lifeguard, play to find out, what aren't you willing to sacrifice? Are you actually selfless, or does your selfishness look different? Will you leave the camp behind? And my names are a short name, a name that's easy to yell, a sharp name, and an honest name. I think I'm going to go with a name that's easy to yell. And I have to think about that because I have to practice yelling names in my head.
Oh, I believe my dad told me when I named a dog that if you wanted it, you needed a name that was good to like yell or shout or whatever, that you wanted it to be like about 2 syllables and you wanted it to start with like a hard consonant.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm going to go with like a masculine name. Ooh, Baron.
Baron.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Baron.
Barron.
Wonderful. Okay. All right. And then for me, the song leader, my play to find out is this place still home for you? Does singing together hold any real power in the face of violence and cruelty? Will your softness last the coming storm, or will it be worn away to reveal roughness and sharp edges? Oh, so good. And then my name possibilities, a name with a pleasing sound, a name used only here, a name that's fun to chant, a full name never to be abbreviated. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
They're all so good.
I know. Gosh, I do like the full name never to be abbreviated.
That's very good.
And because it's like you have to say the whole thing, otherwise it doesn't make sense.
I feel like if that's the case, then you need like a hyphenated, like a Mary Catherine. Or
I was thinking like Mary Kate, Mary something other. For some reason, a lot of Mary dash names.
Yeah, like my sister's Mary Elizabeth, but we don't say it. But if my mom wanted to name her Mary Catherine and was very insistent that if she named her Mary Catherine, it would be Mary Catherine, not Mary. Catherine is Mary Catherine. I know Nate just read a book where one of the characters' names was Noah James.
I've gone to camp and my husband went to camp and we both know a Chris Smith. And they were never Chris or anything. They were always Chris Smith.
That's how I knew my ex-husband always. And then like finally after we were dating for like 2 years, he's like, you don't have to say my full name. And I was like, oh.
So a full name never to be abbreviated.
This one's a tough one.
Jedediah Jeremiah. Do you know Jedediah Jeremiah Jameson Jersey Jorgen
I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. That came from our random table name generator.
Oh my god.
Of Catacon 2019
amazing
Do
session.
you have a die? Do you want to roll a die and I can find a page in my book?
Jeremiah is a good name. Or it could be an uncommon name. Do you have a letter? Is it masculine? Do you want a masculine or a feminine?
Got kind of the start of one brewing.
Okay.
Right now. I need a good last name that can go along with a hyphenated first name.
Yeah.
I haven't even thought about last name.
I know, but I've got to do full names, so.
Yeah. And you know what? We don't have to have a last name. Your soliloquy. Nobody knows your last name.
Right.
Oh, wait, hold on. There's a section in here called nickname proof.
Oh, but I think it's a name that you don't nickname. Like Elizabeth, like if you're Elizabeth, you're always Elizabeth. You're never like Elizabeth.
Right. So these are supposed to be ones that you can't shorten. So it's impossible to give them a nickname.
I think I got it. I just need a last name. I'll just go real generic with Smith. Because why not?
Yeah. For
sure. So this name has a story behind it.
Okay.
My character's name is Margaret James Smith. And the story is the parents both picked names for their child before they knew the gender of the child. And they just decided to slap it together.
I like it.
That's very good.
And so
Margaret James.
Margaret James, yep.
Margaret James. Oh, man. You're so close to being a Maggie, too.
I know. Maggie James Smith.
But Margaret James.
I love the way Maggie James sounds.
Yeah. I know.
But Margaret James.
Margaret James.
Margaret James. Call to action.
Yeah, like that. So this is not at all the direction I kind of expected this game to go. And I think that we're probably just starting to touch on it in this episode. Mm-hmm. It goes places.
Yeah.
That are not, I don't want to say not what this game was meant for, but I
think we stuck to the spirit of it.
We forged our own path.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I'm just really excited for people to hear where this goes. Because I love where everything ended up. Mm-hmm. This game has a lot going for it. This was so much fun. This was so much. I can't wait for people to hear the rest of it. I'm bummed that it can't all come out in 1 week. But Ryan has to sleep sometimes. And also, I guess he has a wife and kids.
I know. So. I have to edit sometime. And, that time is not this second. So it'll happen.
Fine.
Don't worry about it. But yeah, this series was fantastic. I love this game so much. I love the character creation, world building in this game. We love we're character creation cast, but we love world building.
We do, because
it starts with a C, collaborative world building.
I wasn't with you for a second there, but I got it.
But you know what? Before we let you go for the week, we do have some calls to action for this week. Some of them are extraordinarily important, so please stick around.
first up, and most importantly, for those of you that are able to vote in the United States, please head to the polls tomorrow, Tuesday, November 8th. If you're listening after that date, obviously you can disregard this message. Please check what time your state has polling hours. We just learned that apparently it is different in every state. I could have sworn it was the one thing that was consistent, but apparently not. I know there is a full list on Ballotopedia that you can find.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you can call your local county clerk's office and see what the polling times are in your state.
Mm-hmm.
Please remember that no matter where you are, this should be true. Once you are in line to vote, even if the polling station closes, you can stay in line. As long as you are in line at closing time, you are allowed to vote. So remember to get in line by that time. Please also know some states allow you to register on the day of, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
So you can check ahead of time. You can go to vote.org to check your registration status. And you can also, again, call your county clerk to find out what the registration guidelines are in your area too. Even if you've voted before, we strongly encourage you to check because some states do purge their registration rolls. So you may have dropped off at some point. Make sure your address is correct, all that kind of stuff. So we also suggest bringing a piece of mail and an ID with you to the polling place. Again, all of this varies state by state, city by city, because America is dumb. But there's really so much at stake at this election, and honestly, probably every election going forward. So please head out there and vote. We strongly encourage it, and we will be voting.
Once you are done with that, definitely check out this next thing if you have a chance to. On the One Shot Secret Archive, take a look at the new Star Wall Odyssey of the Lucky Finn campaign. It's using the redacted system of RPGs. I do know a system they're eventually going to be going to. They were using Slammerjammer from
Slammerjammer.
Slammerjammer from you know what. But because
we haven't said those words on our show before.
I know. So they were using that, and then all the stuff came out, and they don't want to use that anymore. So they kept their world building and ported it over to a different system. And I don't know if James has revealed it yet, but check it out because I'm editing the episodes where they're talking about it and using the new thing, and it doesn't even matter what system they're using. They're amazing.
These are amazing people. I have played a game that was me and these four people.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most awesome games of my life.
Yeah.
Big moment. It was great. It was run by Rich Howard.
So jealous. So jealous.
It was great. So I know that it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. You got James Emil D'Amato, Drew Merzieski, Ellie Grower, and the occasional Project Falcon even makes an appearance here and there. I love the story that they're putting together, and I cannot recommend it enough.
I also did podcast things. I was a guest on another podcast a while ago, and the episode is finally out in the world, or should be by the time this episode releases. You can head over to the Epic Levels Mad Dungeon podcast to check out the episode where we created a system-neutral playable adventure. It is based on Mad Lib style prompts. You roll a dice or roll a die, decide whether you have a verb or a noun or whatever. We throw a bunch of words together and then you try and make an adventure out of it. So we ended up with like a space diner and like alien mind control goop and using the word malort so many times that it started to sound like a fake word.
Amazing.
It was so much fun. It was a ton of fun. And the folks over at Epic Levels are just like lovely, lovely people. It was great working with them. I hope that I get to again. So we'll put a link to that in the show notes as well. And hopefully you will check it out and have as much fun as I did.
Absolutely. Now on to the portion of the call to action where we tell you that our Patreon is cool and you can get some cool things there by joining our Patreon.
Wow, that was heartfelt.
I know. We are giving you, at this point, weekly chit chats between Amelia and myself for everybody. Bonus outtakes for everybody. Exclusive episodes and ad-free episodes to those at the side quest level or higher. Also, side quest level or higher includes a personal thank you note from us that created by Amelia.
Yay!
They're really nice. They are phenomenal. I highly recommend that level or higher, not because it gives us more money, but because that thank you note is really nice.
Because Amelia makes really nice cards.
It's very true. But you also get a nice shout out on the show at this very point, which we are going to be starting right now. So
drum roll, please.
Drum roll. Our first ever patron still contributing. Thank you so much to Lieutenant
DJG Tigranosaurus. Thank you so much.
Eric Bonts. Thanks.
Thank you to Matt Newton.
Shadim Kowal, we're so happy to have you here with us. Thank you.
We appreciate your support. Daryl Holiday II. Thank you.
Thank you to The Shyest Barbarian.
Thank you to Benjamin Sweeney.
Lorcan McGinnis, thank you so much.
Many thanks to Rob Fletcher.
Kevin Brown, thank you for your continued support.
And thank you to Tentacle Duck, who still has the best name. If you like what we're doing here on the show and aren't able to support us financially, totally cool. There is a way that you can help us out a lot without making you spend any money. And it really helps us feel really amazing every time we hear one of these. And also Amelia's birthday's coming up. So, you should probably do it. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or Podcast Addict. Every time you leave a 5-star review, we will read it here on the show, like we're going to do right now.
Yeah. This review came to us from a very special listener, Badgerfish7 from the United States of America on iTunes, titled Character. 5 stars. Good show. From Nate.
I would like to point out, good show has 3 exclamation points, and then from : Nate.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Nate. Supportive listener, Nate.
Yes, whoever you are.
Who could that possibly be?
We hope that you keep remaining awesome and, say hi to your mom.
Here's a question. Are we allowed to read reviews from people who have been guests on the podcast?
Why not?
Okay.
If you wrote
Nate has
a
definitely
review,
been on a few episodes.
If you wrote a review, I'd read it.
Okay. I should write a review. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, so that was obviously my son, Nate. Thank you, Nate, for the lovely review.
You are
I will make
awesome.
sure he listens to this episode so he can hear us talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
That is all we have for today's episode. Join us next time when we get to finish up our camp counselors and see what sort of horrors they might be up against. Mm-hmm. Until then, take care, everyone. Drink some water, loosen your shoulders, enjoy some crisp fall air. Please go vote. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, keep making those amazing people. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us for part 1 of this character creation series. We'll be back in part 2, picking up right where we left off.
Character Creation Cast is a production of the One Shot Podcast Network and can be found online at www.charactercreationcast.com. Head to the website to get more information on our hosts, this show, and even our press kit. Character Creation Cast can also be found on Twitter at CreationCast, or on our Discord server at discord.charactercreationcast.com. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Bolter, and I can be found on Twitter at Lord Neptune or online at lordneptune.com. Our other host, Amelia Antrim, can be found on Twitter at Ginger Reckoning. Music for this episode is used with a Creative Commons license or with permissions from the podcast they originated from. Further information can be found within the show notes. Our main theme music is Hero, remixed by Steve Combs, and is used with a Creative Commons license. This podcast is owned by us under Creative Commons. This episode was edited by Ryan Bolter. Further information for the game systems used in today's guest can also be found in the show notes. If you'd like to support our show, find us on Patreon. Get access to bonus episodes, extra outtakes, and much more at patreon.com/charactercreationcast. Thanks for joining us. And remember, we find the best part of any role-playing game is character creation. So go out there and create some amazing people. We'll see you next time.